Guten Abend. Menschen, die ihre Land wirklich befreien und siegen wollen, würden durch unvergleichlichen Tatendrang, Leidenschaft und harte Arbeit siegen, dass sie dieses Ziel erreichen wollen. People who truly want to win and liberate their country shall show by unrivaled drive, emotion, and toil to achieve this. So if you guys believe that with your half-hearted effort, your half-hearted drive, your weak-hearted emotion, and your lack of toil and labor, that you are going to win elections, then you're sadly mistaken. You first have to understand what you're arrayed against. The forces that you are arrayed against are strong. They're dark. They're well-funded. There are people who are outside of Grenada that are benefiting from the power structure that currently holds Grenada hostage in some respect. Do you think that the people who are outside of Grenada who are benefiting handsomely from that relationship would want to see the current administration not win again? Just think about it. So what do you think they would do? They will pump their resources into this current administration. So while you Mickey Mouse with your resources, guess what? These people are pumping it into this current administration because they want the gravy train to continue flowing. How hard is this to understand? It's simple. So while they're taking their time, their energy, their toil and resources and putting it into funding these guys, what are you doing for the cause? We have personally put our all into it. What are you doing for the cause? Or do you think you're going to just sit back there and expect that these people be heavily funded by dark money, and then we who are trying to take the fight to them, who are not being funded, you think that's how you're going to win? If you don't realize that you have to help us help you and support you, then you've lost. Then you don't understand how this works. I mean, for crying out loud, simple thing as sharing the videos. Simple thing like that. Do you really share the videos? Do you share the videos with every single person that you know? Friends, families, everyone that you know, so that they can become aware of what's going on. Then they can be a little bit educated, and ultimately that education would lead to liberation. Do you get up and do you make it your mission to say, you know what? I am going to share this video with at least 20 people. Because by doing that, I'm spreading the message. We're putting the effort and time and energy into making them and the resources. You can do your part to help us help you. So make it your mission to get up and say, okay, a video's dropped. This is serious stuff. I understand it. I enjoy it. Let me share it with 20 people. Let me share it with 50 people. Let me share it with 100 people. Instead of sending your friends the nonsense, and the jokes and and the African movies and the crap that exists, why don't you send them something that's going to educate them and help liberate Grenada? How about that? Or do you get up and make it your mission? Say, you know what? I'm going to share this video with 20 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 100 people today. How about that? You have seen how through ardent, determined work, I have triumphed over the heavy hitters. I've decimated their ranks. But what you think? You think they're going to give up? So I have to be ready to battle them again, to completely crush them. So you've seen my effort. You've seen my hard work. You've seen how I am taking this fight to them. And you don't think, in some respect, that you should match that effort? Are you not motivated to support, to encourage, to be there with us? To do your part? Because in doing your part, that is the only way we are going to win together. But if you're not interested in winning, and you want to do half-hearted effort, and you don't want to support, and you want to sit back and just look, then, okay, you know what the result would be. I mean, it's all well and good to make nice, cute comments, and yeah, oh yeah, and that's all well and good. I appreciate that. Thank you. But just comments don't win, okay? Resources win. So I want you to understand that. Why I love your beautiful comments. Thank you. Guess what? The ops, they have resources. They're ahead of the game in some respects. They're the incumbent, okay? They control the coffers of government. It's difficult to match that. So you should understand that and say, you know what? Let me make whatever effort I can make in terms of giving resources to these guys who are fighting the heck out of the fight for me. This should come to mind. I mean, what world are we living in? Come on. I mean, I've shown leadership, right? For the last 3.5 years, I've devoted my own time, my own energy, my own resources to fight this fight out of a genuine love of country. So I haven't come to you to ask you for anything. But you don't think it wise that closer to election and stuff like that, and the season is heating up, that it would be better if we're heavily reinforced. If you put your effort and time and energy and resources and contribution to us so we can really take this fight. Because just by my resources that I've invested, you've seen what I've done. We've decimated their ranks. These people are funded. These people are paid hitters. Okay, they're paid. They're funded. And guess what? I'm still able to triumph over them. So imagine if we had your support and you were in on this with us. We would have entirely crushed them by now. Entirely. So if you want them to regroup, and you want them to consolidate, and you want them to gain more resources and pump more resources because they realize they're losing this battle, we're dominating the social media battle. They're being crushed. So what do you think you're going to do? Their supporters are going to pump more resources into them. The question is, what are you guys' plans? What are your plans to contribute, to support our efforts? I'm not talking about just talking about it, but real tangible support. How about that? That's the only way you could take the fight and you could match the efforts. I mean, I hate to have to be even telling you guys this. This is an obvious thing, okay? I hate to have to be even coming to you to tell you about this. So if you're not all in with your time, your energy, and your resources, and you want to lay back and figure that is the way we're going to win elections, then hey, by all means, let's see how that pans out. So if I'm going to put my ass on the line, and I'm going to put myself and my resources where my mouth is at, and you can't do it, and you don't want to match that, and you want to do like, remember some of these big bajans during peacetime, during 1790-83, and big bajans, intimidating, beating up Grenadian people. And when the real fight came, these are the first suckers that ran and hide. So I don't know. You got to let me know. If I'm going to put myself on the line, I expect people to have my back. This is just the way it works. What world are we living in? If I'm going to put myself on the front line, at least, and you're on the home front, and I'm out there in the battle, in the thick of it, at least, at minimum, you should support the frontline effort. But if you want to play softball and live on hope and maybe and possibility, and you think that's going to get you where you want to get, then by all means, if you want to do that, then you can do that if you want to. But I am telling you, if you think the last 4.5 years was hard, guess what? It's going to be even rougher if they get another 5 years. It's going to be rougher. And then you guys will be in a world of shit. Because that win will embolden them And if you think things were rough then, boy, you'll see what would happen. So when these guys are heavily funded internally in Grenada and heavily funded externally, because they have their external relationships, and these people who they do business with are benefited, and they are benefited. I mean, do you guys understand how this works? Which world or what type of world are you guys living in? So with that level of dark money and resources, guess what? If you do not equally match their resources, guess what? They may be in a better position to fight the fight. Isn't that obvious? So if you want to be lackadaisical and sometimes share the video, some people get the message, some people don't. I want you to go sometimes and look at these people, social media. They may be batshit crazy sometimes, but guess what? Their people are all in. So if you don't match that level of enthusiasm, that level of passion, how are you going to win? How are you going to triumph over them? I mean, this is something that we should not be appealing to you to do. This is something that you should fundamentally understand. This is something at least you should be all in and give your support. If you cannot show support with your resources or resources are scarce, then guess what? Minimum, what you should be doing, sharing this video or sharing these videos so that people can get the message. And at the same time, you should be able to, with whatever it is, show your support. This is just fundamentally how the world works, and this is how this works. We have led by example. We have invested all our resources for 3.5 years. And we didn't ask you for a penny. If you truly have to fight the fight, you can't fight the fight without resources. You guys should know that. You've seen it in the last election. And that's part of the reason that you were outgunned. Okay? Outgunned in resources. So I'm not going to come here and try to judo you or cajole you into doing something that you should have known that you have to do. That if we're given 100 and you see how much we've been pushing, that at minimum, you should return in kind. At minimum, you should support. You see the aggressiveness, the viciousness, how these people operate, how they fundraise, how they do certain things to ensure that their coffers are filled. You should understand that's how it works. And their folks are all in. They understand that they have to protect what they have. They understand that they have tasted a gravy train, and they understand that they are not going to give it up without a serious fight. So if you don't understand that, and you believe you can play along, half-hearted effort, half-hearted drive, don't put your time, your effort, and your resources and emotion all in, like we are, then you're not going to win. This is not a time for half-hearted effort. This is not a time for half-hearted drive. This is not a time for half-hearted emotion and passion. People who are ready for this fight and who are willing to take up this fight must be all in. You must be willing to sacrifice everything. And when you're willing to sacrifice everything, that is the only way you are going to win this fight. We have shown by our effort, by our sweat, by our tears, by our toil, that we are willing to put everything in it. So we cannot have people around us who are stragglers. And we cannot have alliances of half-hearted effort. Don't get me wrong, there are some people who are motivated. There are some people who are strong. There are some people who are brave. There are some people who are putting everything in this. I'm in touch with them every day. I see their efforts. But then there are some of you, the majority of you, who think this is a half-hearted game. Oh, don't worry. I'll just beat some drums. I'll whine and dance close to election, and then that's how I'm going to win elections. Those days are over. It doesn't work like that anymore. I want you to understand that the forces that you are arrayed against are ready, okay? They will fight. They are supported, heavily supported. They have external influence, and they will fight to the last. This is what you're facing. So if you don't have equal drive, equal emotion, and equal willingness to struggle and to win, then you will not win. It's only when you match their drive. It's only when you match their emotion. It's only when you match their willingness to fight and exceed it. That is the only way you are going to win and liberate Grenada. Now, since we have shown and led by example, by our toil, by our labor, by our efforts, and by our resources, personal resources, since we've shown that leadership and we've done this, guess what? Going forward, our efforts will be commensurate with your efforts. If you want to be sideliners, then we all can sit back and be sideliners and see Grenada go to waste. If you want to work hard and toil and labor and do what we've done and give everything that we've got, then you can join us, and then we'll continue our efforts. But as I have said, going forward, our efforts will be commensurate with your efforts. You've got to show us that you're really and truly interested in this, that you're willing to work and work together to achieve that ultimate goal of liberating Grenada. Because things are going to get more tough. Things are going to get more vicious. Things are going to get more serious. And if we cannot rely on people willing to sacrifice anything to defend Grenada, to defend us, and to defend each other, then is it worth it? So when you're truly ready to take this struggle to these charlatans, socialist Marxists, and imposters, let us know. Remember, in some respects, you have to deal with this day in, day out. And for you in the diaspora, you see how they support their people? You see how the ops support their people? Maybe you should take a page from their book and support the people who are fighting for you. That is how life works. More than 3.5 years, we've given our toil, our resources, our time, our effort, unrelenting effort, with no one by our side. When we realize that we are fighting, we are the vanguard of this mission. And guess what? We're surrounded by weak hearts. We're surrounded by people with half-hearted effort. We don't want to be part of anything that doesn't win. The stakes are too high, and the consequences of defeat are too grave. So, when you're ready to show by your drive, your emotion, your labor, your toil, your resources, let us know. Until such time, as I have said, going forward, our efforts will be commensurate with your efforts, your toil, your labor, your support, and your willingness to invest in this holy mission to liberate Grenada from charlatans, socialist Marxists, and imposters. You've seen what they're capable of. So you got to ask yourself, are you serious? Are you ready for this struggle? When you're ready, truly ready, let us know. In diesem Sinne, guten Abend.